Hey y'all, thanks for joining me out on the range. I'm Jeremy, Deputy Editor at thetruthaboutguns.com, TTAG, and I'm out here with the brand new Radical Firearms Sinter 30 caliber suppressor that I got from Silencer Shop. Those guys make it easier than anyone else to buy a suppressor, so definitely check them out, silencershop.com, whether you're looking for the Sinter or just about any other suppressor on the market. Now, what makes the Sinter unique and really special, and maybe you guess based on the name, is that it is 3D printed. But 3D printed for metal is a bit of a misnomer. It's actually called DMLS, or direct metal laser sintering, and what happens is a tiny, very, very thin layer of powdered metal is laid down, and then a laser fuses that layer to the previous layer. So it's basically melting or welding or sintering is what it really is, layer by layer by layer to build up a suppressor, much like 3D printing, and that's why the colloquial term for DMLS is that. So this Sinter from Radical is actually 2,600 layers of titanium built one at a time. The neat thing about doing it this way is that you can create internal structures that you could never machine. Things completely impossible to make via other more standard manufacturing processes. So inside here in the blast chamber, there's actually some ports, and those run all the way down and then out the muzzle on those 4 ports out the muzzle. And that helps vent pressure out very, very quickly so you don't get much back pressure. And apparently Radical testing with and without those ports, it actually helps with volume reduction, with sound reduction, drops those dBs. So the Sinter here, made in Houston, Texas at Radical, is exactly a pound of DMLS titanium, and for $899 you get the can and you get 2 muzzle devices. These are kind of compensators, brakes, flash hiders all in one. There's a taper in front of the threads, which should keep the threads relatively clean. You get a 5/8 24 and a 1/2 28. This guy is rated for basically any caliber that'll fit down the bore, so anything 30 cal or smaller, and it is rated for full auto use, even on 223s and stuff. So we're gonna run it on this 223, we're gonna run it on a 308, we're gonna run it subsonic, like 300 blackout style, we're gonna run it on a hunting style 6.5 Creedmoor. I think you get the gist. Let's hit the range. All right, we've got the Radical Firearms Sinter, borrowed from Silencer Shop, on my Black Collar Arms pork sword pistol. This is a 10-inch 308. That's asking a fair bit from a suppressor on a 308, right? 10 inches, pretty short barrel, got lots of suppressing still to do. Now, Radical Firearms says off the side of the muzzle, on a 12.5-inch 308, they're getting 136 decibels. That's really darn quiet. So I think we're going to be well hearing safe for me back at the shooter's ear, even on this 10-inch. And a lot of the good suppressors are hearing safe, even on a 10-inch 308. I shot this actually indoors at Radical Firearms in their little indoor test range on a 5.56 and on a 308. I was very surprised how it sounded inside, because normally that makes everything just way louder. So anyway, I'm excited to shoot it outdoors here. Supersonic ammo, full power 308 is what I have loaded up right now. Nice. It's not quiet, sounds like a gunshot, right? But it's not uncomfortable, which is impressive. Any suppressor on a short barrel like this, shooting full power 308, to be actually hearing comfortable, and it should be legally, technically, OSHA approved, hearing safe. That is pretty cool. Sweet. All right, not half bad. Let's go ahead, and I didn't bring a 300 blackout, but what I did do is I brought some subsonic 308 ammunition from Discreet Ballistics, and it's the same bullet, the same amount of powder. You know, they're both 30 cal, both going just this side of the speed of sound. So that is an exact approximation of what it'll sound like on 300 blackout. Let's do it. Subsonic 308 from Discreet Ballistics loaded up. This should be nice and quiet. Oh, wow. Wow. That is incredible. It's like a pellet gun. All right, how about a typical rifle configuration? This is a Savage Impulse in 6.5 Creedmoor, their new straight pull. I've got a carbon fiber scope mount from Black Collar Arms on there. How freaking cool is that? And a great primary arms optic. So this is a super fast rifle running with the straight pull. And I think it's a 22, possibly a 24-inch barrel. I'm gonna shoot standard 6.5 Creedmoor. Wow, yeah, that sounds pretty darn good. How fast is that straight pull? Love it. Nice. Yeah, I've shot a lot of very nice suppressors on a lot of 6.5 Creedmoors, and this sounds really good. It has a low, solid tone. There's no high-pitched aspect to it at all, and it is pretty darn quiet. Definitely cuts down on recoil. Yeah, I mean, nice job, Radical. Sinter is now on an M4 14.5-inch 5.56. Just shooting standard 223 ammo from Wolf Gold. Not bad. Not bad at all. No extra blowback. Being a 30 cal can, that helps a little bit with back pressure. And then with those channels, that also helps. They vent a lot of that immediate pressure in the blast chamber out the front of the muzzle. Yeah, sounds pretty good. If you've seen other suppressor videos of mine, you know I generally don't shoot ARs, even suppressed, without ear pro. They're just loud. There's so much noise that comes out of the ejection port, and that 5.56 bullet is super loud. Sometimes, if I feel like the suppressor is really quiet, at the end I'll go ahead and take an earplug out, and or both of them out, and I'll just fire one, maybe 2 rounds to see how it sounds, see the pitch and everything. On this can, I knew it was pretty quiet, even on this setup. And it was a little uncomfortable because of just that action sound. You've got a lot of action sound in the stock, out of the port, all that stuff. So I went ahead, put some plugs in just to shoot a little bit more on this bad boy. Yeah. Nice. Full auto rated. Did I mention that? Always a good time. That high temp Cerakote, just barely starting to smell it. Basically what I want to do now, take the suppressor off and look at that muzzle device, see how well that taper is actually sealing up and keeping carbon from building up on the threads. One thing I should mention, when you put these muzzle devices on your gun, if you want to leave it on your gun permanently or long-term or whatever, definitely thread locker that or rock set it or whatever, the muzzle device onto the gun, rock set that, because that taper inside the suppressor or any taper like that, it provides a lot of surface area, and that's why it's so great. You've got those 2 angles coming together, they kind of squeeze, lots of surface area on that, and it really seals up, but also it grips hard. So there's a good chance that it's going to grip the suppressor harder than your muzzle brake's going to grip your gun. So make sure that muzzle brake is on there firmly, and if you want, you can do a little light lube on the actual taper as well. Pretty good, man. That sounded and ran really nice. Didn't run like it was overgassed. All right, y'all, thank you for joining me to check out the Radical Firearms Sinter DMLS, manufactured in Houston, Texas, and available at silencershop.com. Check out thetruthaboutguns.com for the full written review. Like and subscribe. Do it now, but not on YouTube, on Rumble. I hope you're watching it over there, and we'll see y'all here next time.